Howdy Hazardous Dukes. The recent Bloomberg report about the state of things at some Sony studios has me considering Kojima's rumored Microsoft collaboration in a different light. So yeah, the timing for this was very interesting because of that news drop. If Sony is fine with walking away from Days Gone, maybe they're fine with walking away from Kojima Productions as well. It's an open secret that Death Stranding didn't light the world on fire with sales. Do you think Sony's reported attitude of focusing on big blockbusters could have trickled down, leaving Kojima Productions hanging in the wind on a future Sony project? It comes Microsoft, where it would not surprise me at all to hear that Microsoft told Kojima to make whatever the hell he wants, just put it on Xbox, maybe even Game Pass. Thank you for the podcast, dudes, and I hope you have a 40-degree day. The worst type of weather. All right. This was the other thing that I was thinking of when I read this report is I feel like, while it's just a rumor and we're going to treat it as such, Kojima teaming up with Xbox would make a lot more sense. Originally, it was from just the Game Pass perspective of, hey, maybe he wanted more players on something like Death Stranding. Game Pass has that built-in player base that you can really reach out to. People don't have to spend money on this questionable project. And in turn, it creates a little bit more excitement and buzz. Just look at Outriders. Look at MLB The Show. We thought that was the data speaking, but now with this report coming out afterwards, do you think this is why we may see a collaboration with Kojima and Microsoft, and we may see other collaborations in the future with more creatives, we'll say? We talked about on Ham Radio, like a Ken Levine or something, teaming up with Xbox, because Sony sort of walked away from what I would say is the more riskier plays at times, although Death Stranding, by all technicality, was a success.
Yeah, I think Death Stranding was just not a Metal Gear success, but looks like it did 27 million or whatever they said, 27 million bucks or whatever, which is yeah, it's pretty good. The question was like, what though? I mean, what's like?
Do you think that because of Sony's new focus on blockbusters, that someone like Kojima was sort of left hanging in the wind? Just because they're like, no, we're focusing on our big things like Horizon, Ghost of Tsushima, setting up another studio to do something like a new big IP. You think they're just, okay, so why do you think that?
Because I think everybody that's the problem with game fans. They want something explained to them, like the theory of relativity. That's not the way games work. It's affected differently. If Kojima had shown them something cool, they would have wanted something cool. Whatever they discussed, whatever goes on, there's money and there's interest. And those two need to meet up for you to move forward. In no way, shape, or form do I think that like, because of their focus on AAA, if Kojima didn't have something cool, I mean, I don't see any reason why Jim or those people stating they want to do AAA doesn't mean that's all they're going to do. It absolutely does not. And people need to remember, this is third or second party, not first party. Once you start getting into third and second party and hired guns kind of contractors, he's not going to want a AAA from every single one. That wouldn't make any sense, even from him. So the idea that Kojima is showing him stuff, no, I don't think it instantly changes just because of this new ideal. It may have less money involved. There may be less money offered. They may have changed their, how like you go to buy a car and you have your $5,000 budget or whatever. If their budget dropped to $4,000, they're still going to want to see the car. And I believe Kojima is still going to want to be seen by Sony. As in, Sony would still want to look at it. Like, they're not idiots. And by the way, the Starfield money didn't go away, so there's still money there. Or, well,
yeah, we've talked about it a lot.
Yeah, there was money there. Who knows what's been, purchased in that point. But no, I don't think it's just magically changed the entire way they do business. It's just adjusted some of their numbers. But Kojima, it would boggle. You would hear about it. You would hear about that. Like somebody working with Jim and those guys, somebody in charge of in charge of third party support or whatever. They would leak it. It would be leaked Yes. Yeah. If it was pure drama like that, if Jim was like, we're not even going to see Kojima, snap, you can bet your ass somebody would be like, they didn't even want to see him. Like, it would get leaked. It would get leaked because only he replaced Sean. The entire world didn't get replaced at Sony. There's still other people there who I'm sure disagree. And you can bet your ass, man. Like, that kind of stuff would be brought up. Now, I'm not saying it hasn't been. Maybe while we're talking, it will be. It's happened before where we've been talking. Multiple times. But yeah. I mean, it'd be like you and I. We may have an agreement on a game or whatever. But that doesn't, let's say we disagree on a game. It doesn't mean if the person who hated it won't look at the next in that series of games or whatever. Like, you're still going to look. And Jim's not the only one, by the way, making all choices. It would be impossible. No CEO in the world, by the way, would be making all the choices on every game coming to a developer. It would absolutely not be happening. It's impossible. It's like Matt Booty. You've even talked about it. How many games can one person, like, run, you know? And Jim's the CEO. He's even above that. So, yeah, I don't think, long story short, I don't think it changes a ton. Especially when it comes to Kojima. Maybe somebody else, but like if I came to him, they'd probably be like, no. But Kojima, nah.
See, I wonder because I feel like if Jim Ryan's saying these things and he's sort of establishing a culture, like you close down a studio in Japan and you say, we're no longer doing games that are only successful in Japan. I feel like that sends a clear message to everyone, even if you're not in Japan. Like, okay, they mean only blockbusters. And so sure. I feel like...
But it doesn't change that they would still see Kojima's game, because you wouldn't know what it is.
I think they would see it, but I almost think they'd see it looking down their nose, in a way.
Oh, for sure, that's possible.
Like,
yeah.
You know, that's how I view it. And I think that's what the question being asked was.
I didn't get that from the question at all.
Yeah, it was like, do you think Sony's reported attitude of focusing on big blockbusters could have trickled down, leaving Kojima Productions hanging in the wind? So hanging in the wind, no. I think they saw his project.
Yeah, no way, not hanging in the wind.
But I don't think... I think they almost... I would envision it, and by the way, this is all speculative, of course. I would almost envision it like all right, let's see what this is all about. And like, we need to be wowed to be in on this, because I view it this way. If Jim's setting this culture here, he's clearly a data-driven guy, which makes sense as a businessman. I get it. He's going to look at Death Stranding's numbers, maybe compare them to, I don't know, something like MGS5 and go like, what the fuck is this? Like, why would we spend, like, you made $27 million and call it a success? Like, no, that's...
How much did he spend on Death Stranding, though?
Yeah, of course, that's the bigger
That would be a
picture.
question, right? Yeah,
but that did not look like an expensive game, to be quite honest. But it was made very quickly after the studio was set up. So
it may, yeah. See, it's like, how much did it cost? How many people worked on it? How, like, Norman Reedus, did he cost a bunch? Because remember, he's a voice actor for Walking Dead, one of the biggest voice actors in the world.
A nice little. He could get him on a nice little.
If you're saying a deal, dude, that's not the way. You don't deal. I mean, you could, I guess, but I just don't see his agent. I don't see Norman's agent wanting to give his own take, because Norman's agent would take a take of whatever Norman gets too. Like I don't know. I mean, it could happen. That could happen. But at some point, we're so far in the weeds now that we're like, I want to have ESP and understand everything Jim's thinking, which I mean, I don't know. It seems to be a waste to me. I think with Kojima's game.
The Game Ran article reported that Death Stranding initial sales left Sony disappointed and frustrated. And then, I don't know, I'm not even going to mention this because... Do
you find that interesting, though? Because...
That they were frustrated with the sales?
No, because just that, the overall thought process of all that, because, dude, it was all that people talked about. It won a ton of awards, and everybody I know, besides me, liked that game. It seemed like it sold well, just from like the zeitgeist, the Twitter zeitgeist. But I don't follow sales that much because I don't think they're really a quality indicator.
It sold well enough to be profitable. Some rumors are swirling that it cost $100 million to make, but
gotcha.
I don't really. I don't know where that's even sourced from, so I wouldn't give it any oxygen. But